We are the Liberty Intelligence Organization Network.
And this is our news recap show where we go over a bunch of information and try to encourage other people to start becoming informed and active human beings once again, because that really is the first step towards gaining liberty and independence for yourself in the face of a tyrannical criminal organization that calls itself the New World Order. And that's what we try to teach people about, and basically if you've been following us, we're outlining a number of aspects of the New World Order. Here in broadcast number 3 of our news recap show, we're going over propaganda. I mentioned in the introduction to this broadcast that I was going to go over some personal experience with propaganda. I'm still going to try to do that real quick. But it's mainly just going to be a real quick run-through of the stuff that I jotted down here with my notes. And I'm actually going to skip some of the TV shows and movies. Basically, I just want to remind people about a couple of aspects of the New World Order propaganda. It attempts to do a number of things. 2 things in particular. One, it attempts to invoke upon the youth, not only through public education, but also through television geared towards young adults and teenagers, that promotes a culture of death, basically uncontrollable sex with whomever, mindless physical and mental destruction via alcohol or drug abuse. These are propagated to the younger mind, and it oftentimes will foster over into adulthood, which really in turn stunts maturity. It stunts your ability to fully mature, because you're putting yourself under such self-destruction and self-destructive behavior that you will never be able to fully mature. Your brain will never gain the understanding it's supposed to have of the world in which your body lives. The brain houses the soul, if you didn't know that, and your soul is being hindered by you not allowing your brain to function to its full potential. That being said, we're trying to empower you with the knowledge to fully grasp and understand the world you live in, the real world, not the make-believe world that they create through their propaganda. So propaganda is meant to do 2 things. Create a death culture, which is, again, a manipulation of reality, making you believe a certain way or think a certain way, and ultimately to make you think death's cool. You want to die, everyone needs to die, death is cool, that's the way the world is. The world's coming to an end on December 21st. That's 1 week from today, folks. 1 week from today when I'm filming this segment right here. I might even upload it today, so that'll be like 1 week from now. The world's gonna end according to the Mayans. Oh my God! But seriously, folks, it's not just gonna poof up and end, and I guarantee if something does happen, you bet it's a New World Order attempt to take over the world, and we have to stand against it. So basically, two things I want to talk about. They're 2 things that I do enjoy. They are mainly New World Order propaganda, but they're also a form of entertainment. And if you know how to read through the propaganda, you can enjoy them to a better potential, even learn things from them. So let me start off with music. I want to go into the music industry because it is heavily run by the New World Order. Let me just do a time check. Alright, yeah. The music industry is heavily run by the New World Order, and what they mainly like to focus their money and resources on is hip-hop, mainly gangster rap. And now I have to admit, growing up and to this day, do enjoy rap music. Certain songs, now that I listen to them again, I realize I mainly enjoyed them because they were anti-New World Order stuff. And my favorite artist of today in the rap genre would have to be Immortal Technique, because he's spitting the truth and trying to get an understanding out there about the New World Order through his music. He's really using their own weapon against them, because they're the ones, the New World Order via the CIA as their group here in the United States, but this is a worldwide thing. They've pushed gangster rap everywhere. And they've done that because they want to create a culture of death, where it's cool to get killed, it's cool to shoot people, it's cool to do drugs, it's cool to get drunk, it's cool to not care about yourself, it's cool to not care about anybody else. And basically it's cool to go to jail, it's cool to be a criminal, it's cool to never have a job, that it's cool to never be to do anything in your life that's worth anything other than being part of this gangster prison culture, which is really what it is. Now, the co-founder is going to go more into depth in this because it was geared directly towards the African American community originally. Now it's geared worldwide towards all cultures and communities. But it was originally intended back when it really started taking off in the late 80s, mid 90s. It was geared towards destroying the black communities and ripping apart their culture, making this the new black culture. And then ultimately this will be the new global culture, because they train their police state guys that the gangster culture people are the bad guys. So they want to ultimately create a culture where there's the police that control the workers or the gangsters or the slaves, and then the masters are on top, and they got the police state to make sure that the slaves do what they're told. So this just makes it easier for them to put shackles on you, and eventually they're moving towards shock shackles and ultimately shock collars for humankind. So I'm not going to let them collar me. Well, actually, they're just going to put chips in people according to the new Obamacare law. So maybe they'll just put a shocker right in the chip. They'll just shock you when they want. Hey, I wouldn't put it past them. Crazier things have happened. Let me do another time check. I was just talking to one of my coworkers today about this stuff. He's really starting to wake up to the New World Order, mainly because an election in his home country that I'm actually going to try to do a special report on, because I understand that I am promoting a worldwide liberty movement. Worldwide, I want liberty for all humankind across the face of the globe. So I am pushing it worldwide. So I am going to do some international news. Maybe that'll be a whole different show. We'll have the news recap for main United States stuff here, but also global geopolitical events orientated to the United States. But maybe I'll have an international hour where I go over or an international segment or special report on international politics and global elections. And I'm actually kind of interested to learn now after talking to him, but that's for another segment. Anyway, we were talking about it, and he's really woken up to it, and about just how big the New World Order is, just like how much it really controls, and he's really starting to wake up to it, and I'm glad to see that. I encourage him to really get involved himself. I mean, dude, study your country's stuff. The New World Order is everywhere, and you bet there's evidence in your country that it's active there too. Start informing people in your country about it. Get this to be a worldwide liberty movement for freedom. Individual rights given to us by birth. It sounds crazy, but it's true. You are endowed with natural rights. So that being said, I'm going to get into another segment after this one related to New World Order propaganda. Basically just my own personal experience with it. But I'll remind everyone to stay safe, to stay free, to stay strong, and to stay informed.